Hey all brothers and sisters, my name is Captain Meatshield and welcome back to Satisfactory. I've been starting to get things set up for the assemblers here. I built like a couple of floors up so that we've got an underground for, an underneath for the belts, and then, a production floor. I'm trying to get the right ratios sorted out for all of these because we're overproducing on the steel beams we need, but we're underproducing on concrete. So, with the steel beams, we could support 10 assemblers making the encased industrial beams. But with the current concrete production that we have here, we can only support like 7.5. So, what I'm thinking is we'll go with 8. We'll get an overflow on the steel beam production. And I think we might have to just kind of leave it at that. Maybe when like Mark III miners come in, we can expand the concrete production to go a little further than it currently is. We could always dump another module in if we can expand that any further. But as it currently stands, like this system is going to be underperforming, which is a bit of a bugger. I need to grab more concrete so I can finish that floor off. But I think for now we'll go with what we can do. So I'm going to get all of the mergers in place, and then we'll start sorting out belts and everything for all of the finished for all of the inputs on this stuff, so that we can get the encased industrial beam production up and running again. And then we'll do the same thing with stators. We can support, with the current steel pipe production, we can support, I think it's 13.3 recurring machines making steel pipes. So I'm going to go with 12, but each one of these is going to need a full Mark I belt of copper wire. So we're going to have to try and get the copper wire production to match, but that shouldn't be a problem because we can make a buttload of that without any serious issues. Why go around there? That's not where you meant to go. Right, now I'm trying to think what I want to do with the inputs here. Because we've got 2 modules of the steel beam production. I'm thinking of just having that kind of, like each module just direct feed into one side of this assembly. That may be the best way of working it, and then we'll feed the concrete in so that it comes in on one belt and then splits out to everything else. Splits out evenly. So if we put I'm going to space these a bit differently, I think. Just shift these 2 along, because then I can run, I can keep the some input belts running directly down this middle bit. I don't really need to worry about saving space. We can just continue to build vertically with a lot of stuff. But it would be good to get the last of this all in place, because I'd like to start turning my attentions over to other productions, as opposed to just continuously working on the bloody steel stuff. But I do think that getting things set up properly over here, I mean, I don't know how expandable all this stuff's going to be, but, it should be good enough to keep us going for a little while. So, let's figure out how we want to bring in these inputs. So I might do the concrete on the upper belts for this one. And the way we want to work that is going to be... How much do they need again? 20 per minute each, I think. Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting look for things. The splitters aren't technically stacked on top of each other, like they didn't connect or anything, but they weren't encroaching on each other's space. So I will take that. That's pretty good. So we'll feed like these 2 here, and then the ones over on this side will all feed from one of the steel beam modules, and then the other module will feed into the other 4. I think that's going to work great. Now I am out of iron plate, so okay, hi, that's a long way down. Ow! I mean, yeah, that is pretty high up. I get it. Okay, let's go and grab some plates so we can keep working on this stuff. Ah, damn it. These fucking splitters just end up in the way constantly. Wait, what? Encroaching others' clearance. Whose clearance? Oh, is it maybe that? Yeah. Of course, right, okay. We've got to do all the upper belts first, so let's make sure we get this right. You know, the way that I'm doing this now is kind of making me rethink the whole foundry setup. Never mind. We can rejig things later. Most likely when I have to completely rebuild because of new throughput numbers. I am wondering, am I going to be able to upgrade this stuff? Yeah, I can upgrade. I just can't build the initial belts with things like, you know, with things like splitters in the way. But you know, that's manageable. That's all right. Right, I think I'm ready to bring some resources over. Let's delete this bit of foundation. We're going to bring the concrete out of that storage container and we'll lift it up from here. Yeah, it should work fine. Might need to dismantle that so I can bring the lift up high enough. I'm hoping that I can build... I need steel beams. Where have I left those? Shit, I don't remember where I left my steel beams. Okay, I gotta run around and try and find them. Yeah, if I build it like that, it will do. Do the trick. Okay, we need a stacker. Coming in here-ish. Again, encroaching clearance. These bloody splitters are a nightmare. I can't wait for them to update early access so that we don't have to deal with this bullshit. Right, how much do we need of each? So we need... It's going to be a Mark II belt coming... No. Yeah, we could get by with Mark I belts for most of this. We're just going to want Mark IIIs and then eventually like Mark IVs to force the throughput to all of the splitters. And concrete go! That's some fast-moving concrete. So we'll get the mergers in here. I'm going to have to switch around the where the mergers on the other module are pointing, so that they can all be sending stuff out in a different direction. And I also need to sort out the inputs for this module, because this one don't have them. And yeah, it'll have to be Mark II belts coming out of here. Right, let's go and find where I want to bring those inputs up. If I want to bring them up here, where would that place me? No, that wouldn't be too awkward. Right, getting these belts, or getting the lift in, is going to require a little bit of, what I think I'm going to call some expert fiddling. Now take that as you will, but I've got to fiddle around with this so I can get it right. I think that should work now that I can get things out over this way. Encroaching on this clearance. fuck off. Yeah? I mean, what do I need to do? Do I need to dismantle... Alright, I'll dismantle that, because it won't let me place this, because it keeps registering it as the top of the thing, so it won't actually plug in. We'll do things like this. We'll shift the storage container so that it's around this way. Now we need to dismantle all of this, reverse the direction of the belts. And I might empty out this container as well, because... yeah, I mean, you're very full. But we can just plug plug a belt from the container into the merger that's on the end, and then that will just feed everything through. And I may as well just put Mark II belts through the rest of this so that we can get that container emptied. Foundries are up and running again. Another cold livery's been in. Good. There we go. Now it's going to shuffle down to a Mark II belt and head skywards. Let's get rid of that little conveyor pole there, because that's not needed. And then we'll just mirror this whole thing over on this side. Then we need to get some power. And I think it's probably safe to say we're ready to go. Ooh, we've got some inputs happening. We should soon start seeing some encased industrial beams over here. Yes! Oh, look at them go. Oh, you haven't got your recipes, have you? Not since I shifted these assemblers over. There we go. Assemblers functioning. Yep, it seems to be working. Throughput seems to be enough for now. It will change once the concrete supply wears down. But otherwise, that's all looking rather good. I do need to get the other steel beam module operational. Ooh, okay, right, yeah, down. Oh, God, right. Okay. So I need to sort out all of the inputs for this one. Which is going to be a bit of a ball ache. I mean, it's not going to be like a massive ball ache. It's just going to be mildly time consuming. And this actually seems to be fine for now. I'm sure that will change. But I do want to head... even with the Blade Runners, I'm still kind of really nervous about dropping down from excessive heights. I want to go and pick up all of the encased industrial beam stuff so that when I come back over here, I want to set up a storage container that we can then just fill with the encased industrial beams. So I'm going to go and clear all that stuff away. That frees up a little more space over here again. Right, begone the storage container. Yes. Oh, I definitely think one thing I'm going to need to do is really sort out the kind of running around bit of all this bollocks. Because trying to get up via all of these foundation steps is a bit awkward. So I have a feeling when I get off camera, I might make a start on sprucing this little outpost up. Because I think if because I've been noticing things have been getting a little bit jittery with some of the frame rate, and that can happen with having lots of belts out. But what I can do is, as I get the everything in place to just kind of, you know, keep everything kind of nice and tidy, keep everything tucked away behind walls and all that sort of stuff, it'll eventually, you know, go towards, you know, making things run a bit smoother. And yeah, we're going to be producing 40 steel encased industrial beams a minute, So Mark 1 belt will be more than enough for this. But 40 of these things a minute ain't bad. I think this is the most production I'm ever going to be I'll have ever made out of this stuff. So the other spot I wanted for this was here, wasn't it? Right. Okay, I don't quite know what's going on with this. Why have I got steel beams here? None of this module is actually working. And why is it stuck here? It was weird. Because, I mean, if I put you in there, and you output... Why is it getting stuck? There it goes. And out the other side. And then up. That was weird. So I suppose all that really remains here is just getting the rest of this infrastructure in. There's not much else to talk about today, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and finish this stuff up off camera. I'm not going to go about setting up all of the steel pipe and stator, getting all of the... I've got the steel pipe production up and running, getting the stator production up and running, but what I will probably do will be finish up all of the steel beam stuff so that we can get the rest of the encased industrial beam assemblers up and running. I'm likely to go about setting up all of the copper wire stuff, because we've been through all of that before. We don't really need another walkthrough on that one, so I'll try and get that sorted off camera and get it up to the assembly level so that we can just kind of kickstart all of that. And I may, like, put loads of walls and everything around all of this as well, just so that we can start kind of turning this into more of a building as opposed to just a series of levitating platforms. Because I'm sure that will look a little more realistic, as opposed to just some weird Sky Factory thing. Not that Sky Factories are bad and unrealistic. I mean, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Really don't. What I am saying, however, is that I am going to wrap this episode up here. So I'll just say thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the playlist on the channel for more Let's Plays on metal covers, and give this video a like or a comment just to leave your thoughts. And if you wish to join the ever-growing ranks of the Order of the Shield, subscribe on YouTube, chuck me a follow over on Twitch, or maybe even consider checking out my Patreon and becoming an officer within the ranks. But thank you again for watching this video, and I will catch you all very, very soon. This is Captain Meatshield, signing off. Air quality in my colony is terrible. You're starting to run out of food. I think you're lying.